Hey, folks, welcome to Affiliate Nerd Out. I'm your nerderator, Dustin Howes, here spreading that good word about affiliate marketing. And today is an Affiliate Summit West 2025 recap, and my friend Kristen Evans is joining me. Welcome to the Nerdatorium, Kristen.
Hey, thanks. Always great to be here.
Well, we had scheduled Wade Tonkin to come on in. I always love Wade's perspective on how the events go, but he got pulled into meetings, couldn't make it here. So we're going to make fun of him relentlessly as we enjoy our topics of the day. And let's go off, start strong. Affiliate Summit is my favorite event. Oh, Affiliate Summit West is my favorite event of the year for affiliate marketing, and 2025 was no slouch whatsoever.
Yep.
Give me your big highlights here. What'd you see?
Oh man, I saw a lot. It was a good year. I had some really, really good meetings with some publishers that I hadn't met before,
Great.
but are like, have been around the industry for a while. So really excited about that. Had some super productive conversations with partners that I've been in conversations with, and it's one of those things where it's like meeting in person can sometimes like push that over the line, and like really be able to kind of secure some of those partnerships. So I had that happen with a couple of people. Um, one of the best things that I started doing years ago, two things. One is putting together a deck of all of my clients, like just a simple Canva deck with like bullets and highlights, and then live links that go to the program sign up pages so that I
Mm,
can like, shoot those decks to people as we're wrapping up. Like I can show it to them, but then shoot it over as we're wrapping up the conversation to make that onboarding really easy. Plus, I always get really good feedback. People are like, "That's so helpful. It's like succinct and pretty," and I love that.
yeah.
And then the other big thing is just, I started doing this a number of years ago when I was a content creator, but even on like the agency and affiliate manager side, it works really well to tag team meetings with people.
Okay.
Like just get super duper efficient. A lot of us are saying kind of the same thing and just pitching our brands. And publishers are already running around to like 1.5 million people, and it really stands out if you're able to kind of reduce that amount of like running around, and be able to kind of be more efficient. They really really appreciate that, but it's also like obviously super helpful to affiliate managers. So I was able to do that with a couple of friends this year, where we were able to like pitch each other's brands, and also just sit in on each other's meetings, which is amazing for that whole networking thing that we're there to do.
Yes, yes. Excellent. The I didn't take any meetings with anybody like tag teaming like that. Seems like a fun strategy though, and love to join you on that next time around if we
For
can
sure.
figure something else out. But I think some of my favorite highlights was I jam pack my conference full, and I'll give a quick screenshot out there. This is what my schedule looks like. Now, Wednesday is kind of my chill day where I decide that, I'm going to be going to sessions and trying to learn a lot more rather than doing networks, because the full networking hardcore for 2 days is just my maximum. And I think even next year, I think I'm going to leave early on Wednesday afternoon. That was like that biggest takeaway, I think, in terms of networking, because when you pack your schedule like that, you're just running around with your head cut off, and it's a lot, and I love it, but like 2 days is max. I can't do any more than that.
I really like the Wednesday evening like decompression session with
Mm,
other people. And like I totally hear you on like wanting to get out and be done, but the amount of like extra education and like learnings that I get just by hanging out with, people in the industry and like having it be chill, having it be like, holy cow, okay, we're done. I've gotten so much out of those conversations. And
mm.
it is usually like everybody's kind of like whoosh, and you go have a great bourbon at like Oak and Ivy or whatever, and then just start chatting about what has worked. And a lot of times I come away with really actionable insights on stuff like that.
Oh, that's great. That's great. And what about any lowlights that you saw? Anything you want to highlight? I hate putting a negative damper on things of that nature, and I like keeping things positive. But any lowlights that you saw?
I mean, I always think the app can use more improvement. There are a
Okay.
few glitches that were a bit frustrating. Updates not coming through in a timely fashion. I had one publisher that I was supposed to meet with, and he's like, "Oh, it says it's canceled. Like you guys canceled it," and I'm like, "It's literally still on my calendar right now."
Mhm.
So that was kind of a bummer because that could have been a really good, productive conversation. Um, I just think that there's always room for improvement on the app, but other than that, it was a pretty solid show. I think there was a lot of really good attendees this year. The fashion was A plus. Like I think a lot
Mm.
of people brought their fashion game this year, which I love to see. Um, I had some excellent offsite meals. Did a lot of hanging out in the Fremont section this time.
Really?
Yeah, in Old Town. And some of the best food that I've had in Vegas has been over there.
Hmm.
So I can't recommend enough, like, going off strip and exploring other parts of the city to get, like, some of those A plus meals.
Oh, downtown's real nice. I mean, they have some very established restaurants down there from early days of Las Vegas that have hung around because they're so good. So, love that concept. I just don't go all the way down the strip. I try to stay central within, a mile radius of that if at all possible. You know what I really would call like my lowlights, and I wish people would quit doing this, is having meetings across the street at people's like suite or something. Because
Oh, yeah.
then I have a meeting at 11 o'clock with somebody at a bookable table, which is a very acceptable way to have a meeting. And then my 11:30 is all the way across the street on the 71st floor of Cosmo or something, and, like, I've gotta make my way over there, and then I've gotta make my way back for 12 o'clock. Like,
Yeah,
impossible. I
yeah.
don't have a time machine, I don't have a transporter. Like, I wish people would just have their meetings. I really did love that every major network had a meeting room essentially
Yeah.
in there, and they were happy to let you have meetings in there if you asked nicely. Like, so those are a couple of my bigger pet peeves. And you mentioned the app. I'm a huge fan of the app. Like, it has come so far
I mean, it's come
in the
far.
last
There's still
5.
a long way to go.
Incredible. And they continue to make improvements, and they take feedback, and they adjust, and next year it's going to be even better. So, yes, I did see the same lag there, but for what it is, I thought it was outstanding. It's the way I built my lineup of schedule, and then migrated it over to my regular calendar. I thought it was great.
Yeah, I
Um,
I did the same thing. I mean, I live and die by my calendar, and, if that's not up to date, I don't know what to tell you.
yeah,
And having multiple email addresses too, this is a little bit off topic, but, I've been seeing this question come up a lot where people are like, "How do you manage, your calendar across multiple inboxes?" The
okay.
tool I use is Calendar Bridge. It's like
Oh,
maybe $10 a month, like maybe, but I can manage, I think, 10 or more calendars with that and sync up all of those calendars into one central one. It's awesome.
Calendar Bridge. Good
Mhm.
tip there. I don't use anything in that sense, but I do have 5 different calendars, so that might be something I can take a look at. Thank you for that.
Yeah, of course. It's
Uh,
it's essential to keeping everything up to date.
yeah, it looks like Joe Kahn is a big fan of your old school methodology going off strip, and looks like Seth says I missed ASW this year. Anything
Oh,
in
Seth, you were
retail?
missed. We miss you, buddy.
Anything in new in retail targeting and AI come up?
I didn't go to session, so I'm gonna leave that one up to you.
Yeah, that brings up my next topic is what is the best session out there, and I only went to a handful, so I had to pick and choose, and usually Wednesday is my session day, which can be a blessing and a curse for the people on the sessions, like and having their sessions on Wednesday because when I'm speaking, I want to get my thing done with. And
Yeah,
because I'm a nervous wreck leading up to my session, and then
same.
and then once it's over, I have a lot more fun.
Yeah.
Um, But on the other hand, like, I don't have time Monday and Tuesday because that's when everybody's snapping off all their meetings, and usually people leave. It's not a ghost town, but it's borderline a ghost town on Wednesday.
Yeah, I think Wade had the last session on Wednesday afternoon, which
Yes.
was like I've been in that position. That is a rough position to be in, but that session was actually really good. I made sure to go and, heckle a little bit.
I
Um,
Yeah, I
but
really
yeah,
wanted to go to that, and Wade, I am sorry I didn't make it, but I had nothing left at that point. I didn't wanna see people or talk to people.
I was gonna say I didn't see you at all on Wednesday.
Yeah, and I went to a few sessions. My favorite, was the PMA actually, Trisha
Kelly
and
and Jade.
Kelly and, Jade
Yeah.
all had a session together. It was actually a really cute and well put together session about, taking sides on, is Google a friend or an enemy?
Yeah.
And,
I love Trisha's teaser there.
Jade had to pretend in there that Google's a friend and why, and she just got stuck on the bad side of the debate because somebody needed to take the bullet,
Mhm.
and she did great, but, like, Kelly, uh, had the easy side, so took it away, but, good session, a lot of fun. I'm glad the PMA put something together like that.
I was
Um,
bummed that I missed that session, but I did see Jade that night. I ran into her at the speakeasy that I went to, and so I at least got to catch up with her there, which was really awesome.
oh, good, good. And then one more session I really liked is Rand Fiskin over he created Moz, I believe. And he's always got a lot of energy and a lot of really cool stats. And one thing that was a real highlight for me and something that stuck out more than anything at the conference was he said Google ads only have 1% click rate on every Google search. And you naturally think that, putting the ads up on the top, a lot more people are going to click. But today's consumer is hyper aware that these are ads and like forced in there. And only 1% is getting clicked on those ads. And I thought that was mind blowing.
I want to say I'm surprised by that, but then I think about my own consumer behavior, and I know for a fact that I scroll down past to the first like organic link versus the one that says ad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I consciously do that when I do a search. So
Yeah.
that's interesting that additional consumers are behaving that way.
Yeah.
I mean, I always thought I just did it because I know how things
Yeah.
operate. But,
Right. Right.
yeah, that's really interesting.
And I bet there's ad blockers that come into play with that
Yeah.
as well, like that kill some of those clicks. But that was really interesting. He had a lot of good stats like that throughout his session. But
Mhm.
I love his energy and what he does out there. Seth said he miss us. And Mike Carney, I wish they had tables set up outside for meetings.
The weather was so good that that would have been an incredible opportunity. Like, I probably would have just camped outside all day.
Great call, Mike.
Yeah.
I'll add that feedback to Henny and the team over there. That's a great call. Love it.
Yeah.
Anything any other learnings from you? Like anything that really stood out that's on top of mind?
Yeah, I mean, I one of the recurring, themes that has been coming up prior to ASW and really came up in a number of the conversations that I had is that, ever since the Google updates have, impacted publishers, they're really exploring new means of getting traffic, and so many of them are expanding into social whitelisting, which I think is really cool and a really interesting new area for them to explore and for brands to explore. I know that I'm working with a number of brands who have been actively asking me to drum up partners that do social whitelisting. And if you don't know what that is, it's basically the influencer gives the brand access to kind of the account to be able to put additional spend to be able to boost the visibility of the ad. And then the ad goes to the publisher's website, where it will have like a review article or a listicle or something, but it's boosted by the brand for increased visibility, and then the traffic obviously from that article goes back to the brand's website. But it's something that's really cool and really fascinating, and so many publishers are exploring it right now as a means of increasing traffic. and getting some of those net new users, which, is definitely brand goals. So I'm excited to do that. I met with Inside Hook and they're starting to do social whitelisting soon. So I'm really excited to kind of figure out that partnership. I know Bro Bible's been doing it really well for a while.
Hmm. Hmm. Good call.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
All right. And as you go down, how about your networking? Let's go inside the event. Is there anything that stuck out inside the event in terms of networking? You had some nice spots where you didn't have a meeting, you had like a half-hour gap. Like, what were you doing during those times?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it was just kind of running into people. So I've told you, I don't book my whole thing up because so many of the opportunities that I have are just running into old friends, and kind of hearing like what they're up to,
Mm-hmm.
what opportunities they have. And in doing that, I met so many other people. Like there was one instance where I was sitting with the Garcias of Lab 6, and they were about to have a meeting and they're like, actually just stay because I think you'll find this person really interesting. And so I was able to like jump in on their meeting like totally spontaneously and inadvertently. And it turns out that it's an ideal partner for multiple of my brands.
Nice.
So that's part of the reason why I leave that time open is just like opportunities come up. So I'd say like I love to be in a place where I'm hyper visible. So I had a couple I had a couple opportunities along the longer hallway there where I was able to snag a seat and then people could come up, sit down. We could have organic conversations, and just introduce ourselves and see if there's opportunity or if there's not opportunity. There was one guy that I explained like all of affiliate marketing to him because he was like brand new in it. And he like, it was just cool. It was an opportunity to educate
Awesome.
and connect with somebody. And so I thought that was super duper fun. And I always love moments like that. I like to make new friends.
Excellent. For me, the best spot I saw was the networking events. They have
Mm.
half-hour slots, influencer meetup, content media meetup, etc. Those 30-minute conversations, they box you in and let you walk around and mingle. Again, it was too tight. They need to get more room in there, and I keep getting this feedback, like make that room bigger because every time I'm just like elbowing over to other people. But I have literally 10 conversations in 30 minutes and move through that room, and I pick up another couple of affiliates in there and really good conversations. I lights out on that networking.
Awesome.
And then outside event, anything that stood out?
Constantly. I mean, constantly. I didn't really make it to any of, well, no, that's not true. I did go to your happy hour, which I
Okay,
always love.
thanks.
And I love how close you have it to everything. Thank you for
Yeah,
that. Thank you for having it literally a hop, skip, and a jump away. Um, so I love going to yours. Upsell It is always fun.
yes.
They were really, those guys are always great. Jeremy and the crew always put together something amazing. I watched Nick meet his new best friend there.
Who is it?
um,
Do you know?
yeah, Jake Fuller from JED. Yeah,
All right,
those
Jake's already in
two
my close guys friend.
those two met, and it was just like fireworks, It was
Oh, amazing.
and I got to meet Jennifer Goodwin at that meetup. You introduced me to
Yeah.
her, and then the next day I met Dexter from High Energy, and it was great. And I especially because I was like, "Hey, my kid's name is Dexter." You don't meet many of those out in the wild.
Oh, you
Um,
sure don't.
so yeah, I mean that was super fun. Um, as I mentioned, the Wednesday night decompression session is one of my very favorites. I got to go out with the Garcias and Wade, and usually we meet up with some AWIN people, but because of the flight issues, and there was like a snowstorm hitting Chicago, I think a number of AWIN people ended up leaving early as a result. So
Oh,
we missed seeing them, but yeah, that one's always a really good time. I tried to go to the Impact happy hour and that didn't happen. That was the night of almosts where we tried to do like 45 things and none of them came to fruition.
awesome. I always find a lot of value in going out and networking with people. Networking mean getting drunk, and you never talk business at the after hours party, you're just trying to get to know people a little bit better and seeing who they are as a person. And my favorite event was that Upsell It party. They had a really nice suite.
Yeah,
I don't even remember where it was, but
in the Cosmo.
it was Cosmo. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, they had like, it felt like 50 people and they were all good people in the industry, hung out with Frary and some other folks and made some new friends in there, which was great. And then I got to talk baseball with this dude that walks around with a Royals hat. I think his name's Brian. But we just nerded out on baseball. I love those events
Yeah.
and doing those things. Then I got to hang out with my wife Sarah's team. We went to a speakeasy for
Oh,
uh,
nice.
and saw this really cool cover band just like kill it up there for an hour.
Which speakeasy did you go to?
Since it was in Caesars,
Okay.
because I remember leaving and trying to get into Presh's event, and then the line was like
Mm.
an hour long, and I'm like, I'm not waiting.
No, thank you.
uh, all right. Mike Carney came in and said those meetups were top notch in regard to focused conversations. So right, Mike, I ran into you at one of those, so that's funny. That ironic. Let's see. About best dressed. Any best dressed you saw? You. You can't vote yourself in, Evans. I'm sorry.
My suits were so good this year.
Yeah.
I mean, I was going with a mission, obviously.
Yeah.
Um, I saw one girl who had like a denim sparkle suit one day, and I thought that was pretty good. Yeah, see, that suit looks so good.
It's a good looking suit. I like your style. I always do.
um, uh, there was a guy, Tony, who was at your happy hour who was wearing a purple blazer.
Tony, great
Yeah,
call.
yeah. Isn't he Sacramento based?
He is. Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
around the
that purple blazer,
corner.
and then the next day, he
Pepperflow.
was wearing a shirt with, like, a really wild pattern on it. Fire. He looked
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah. That purple
And then
jacket's it should be a staple, Tony.
yeah, and then Paresh always, like, always brings the fashion.
Always bringing the game, no
See,
matter.
right there, it's
And
amazing.
I've got a new winner myself for this year. I don't know this guy's name, but you couldn't miss
Oh my
him.
god, yes.
Like
What
no
a
shirt,
kid.
just this like pimp jacket, and a hell of a nice guy. I interviewed him. I forget his name off the top of my head, but great
Yeah,
look.
I saw him on Wednesday, and he was wearing a different color of that same kind
Yes,
of outfit, and I was like and he had sparkly shoes on. I was like, "Oh my god, this king is a king forever." Like, love him so much.
beautiful. Oh, Jake Fuller. Hey, friends. Good seeing you both across the event and different events. I didn't realize you and what's and Marchese didn't know each other, Jake. That's interesting. But
It it
birds of
was
a
my first
feather.
time meeting Jake too, and he and I
Oh,
actually
really?
got a little bit of hang time at the Link Bar one night because
Okay.
I after we came back from Oak and Ivy, I was like, "I don't want another nightcap," and so I sat down, and he was playing one of the video slots across from me and came over, and we chatted for a while, so,
Yeah.
yeah. Good dude, good dude.
Well,
Great
I
dude.
mean, I met Jake last year at
Okay.
ASW, and I don't know, we've done or seen each other a dozen times since then because we're just buddies now.
Yeah.
This is what ASW is all about. And speaking of which, any new friends that stuck out with you?
Um, yeah, I mean, I spoke to a couple of people. I would say definitely Jake's one of them. Oh, Ashley on Nick's team. She's amazing.
Oh
Absolutely
yeah,
love her.
super friendly. Love her
She's super
attitude.
great.
Yeah,
She and I were firing on all cylinders at dinner one
yeah.
night, which just means that we were making fun of Nick like nonstop. So that was fantastic. I'm sure I met some other people that I will be forever friends with. I have to remember them a couple times first.
Yeah. I had a couple of people that stuck out. I had a really good meeting with New York Post dude named Frank.
Okay.
We nerded out about baseball. It's always like if somebody has that topic and can nerd out about, we're instantly friends.
Sure.
Um, but he has a really good situation, and like they're open and flexible, and just can't wait to follow up with that guy. My buddy Orlando, who is with Truly Free, he's been a fan, and we've talked online. I think we met one time at PLI, but like had a really, really good meeting this time around, and we were talking about his brand Truly Free, and he gave me a really sick hookup with a lot of content material.
Love
And
that.
I don't do a lot of product uh, reviews, but I'm gonna do one with it. So Truly Free is this. It's household cleaning products,
Mhm.
bathroom, kitchen, laundry room, and all like super eco-friendly, green, trying to save the world kind of a company, and non-toxic materials. Outstanding company. They sent me this giant box of free stuff.
I love
So,
it.
yeah, so I'm gonna be making some content around that, which I'm super excited about. And then let's see. Oh, one last person I really want to highlight is Noelle. She came on in the podcast, and she came and joined the happy hour. She is a lot of fun. I just
Love it.
love her attitude and who she is. So that's I think that wraps up for friendships. Anything else we want to talk about? Anything closing out?
No, I was bummed I didn't get to see you Wednesday for the full recovery pack because I finally got my oxygen canisters in. And it was great because I did see a couple of people that I was like, oh, it looks like you could use one of these infused seltzers. Are you
Yeah.
hungry? Do you need a meat stick? Like, yeah, I was able to give a couple of the recovery packs out, and I hope I helped some people out. And if you're interested in those brands, holler, of course.
Okay.
Um,
Great.
uh, yeah, I don't know. It was a really good show. My voice is still kind of like hurting a little bit from talking as much as I did over the course of 3 days. But yeah, it was just super fun. I look forward to this event every year. I was really glad to see a couple of old friends who had gathered specifically for Deb Carney's celebration of life. Got to see a couple of people like Carolyn Kmet, who love her forever. She came in, Liz Fogg. I saw Jen Goody, which was amazing because I haven't seen her in ages.
Mm.
So it was, yeah, it was a really good blend of old friends, new friends, lots of business, lots of fun. And I am super excited about the recaps that I've been sending to clients all morning.
Oh, good. I'm so glad you do that. Now, in terms of recaps, my favorite suggestion is waiting the amount of days that the conference was going. So if it's a 3-day conference, I wait 3 days until I do my follow-ups with all of my
Yeah.
affiliates. But you can time them out with spacing these days. Like you can get it done Tuesday and or Thursday and Friday, and then like time it out for Monday morning, because when people get home on Thursday and Friday, now they've got to do all their catch up work
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
you don't want to immediately like send emails out because they might get lost in the sauce. And I found the best treatment is wait 3 business days until you send that email.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll be doing follow-ups next week. But all my clients were really eager to
Oh,
hear
of course.
what had happened. And I was really happy that I was able to pull together a decent amount of bullet points for each of them. So sending those out today has been really fun. Kind of gives me a reminder of all the good follow-ups that I get to do next week too. And getting these conversations turned into partnerships, turned into sales and conversions.
Yes, yes. You mentioned you brought the oxygen things. I'm sorry I missed that because I could have really used that on
I think you would
Wednesday.
have really liked it on Wednesday.
I was not doing so well. So, uh, you
The
know,
video you sent me was so funny though. It was
uh,
just a big sigh.
just a big sigh.
Just
Yeah,
a big sigh.
that's waking up at 8 a.m. and like knowing you've got to go to something and being like,
Yeah. Why did I do this to myself?
rough, rough. Yeah, there's, I like to say like, make sure you don't drink too much. Make sure you stay hydrated. Make sure
You
you
eat.
eat.
Make sure you eat.
Make sure you take in plenty of water. Make sure you get good enough sleep. And absolutely, tip number 5, like whatever you do, don't listen to any of your own advice. And uh, and I follow this every single affiliate summit,
Mhm.
but at least I wait till the last day. Luckily, I've learned that lesson. One thing I was out there slinging was this Magic Mind.
Yeah.
This is a super cool brand that has it's an energy drink that I take almost every day at 2 o'clock for an extra pick me up and finish out the last 2 hours of my day. And I want them as a brand to work for. And so I have this strategy of being an affiliate of theirs. And so I brought a dozen of these and I put my affiliate link, dustinhouse.com/mm, and I handed this out to everybody. And like I got a lot of people being like, hey, that thing's great. Like I
I
got that
should run
energy,
into
got
you
that
for one of those.
yeah, sorry I missed you with that, but
Alright.
um, great company, great product.
Love it.
All right. I think that wraps things up. Thanks so much for joining me and nerding out about this. This is always good to see you.
Of course. Good to see you too. It was fun.
All right. Until next year, folks, we'll see you out there and keep on recruiting.